When we come back, find out what effect a wife's demands have on one man's ultimate woodworking shop. And later,
hi, I'm Bruce Johnson, and welcome back to House. The next person you're going to meet is, like me, a woodworker. And like many of us, he had to build his dream workshop in his garage. But Mike Doerner faced an additional challenge. Mike had to design a workshop wherein half of the space had to be available every day for his wife to park her car. In other words, Mike had to design a very mobile workshop.
In the beginning, my wife had a small car and she wanted to park it in here. I was going to park my car in here, but I decided, well, I would sacrifice my half of the garage for my workbench and my table saw, and I could just park my car outside, but my wife would park her car in here every single day. I had to come up with some very ingenious methods for being able to let her still park her car in here, so I put everything on wheels except for the table saw and the main bench behind me. And then when she leaves in the morning, close the door, turn the heaters on, push everything back to where it needs to go so I can work. This is pretty much the only permanent structure in my shop. It's the tool wall and main workbench. It's built into the framework of the house, so it's good and solid. You could park a truck on it. It's aptly named the tool wall because I've got all my tools on there. There's some antique tools, brand new tools, but the main thing is everything is at arm's length. That way I can just grab it, go to work, and then put it back without having to open a drawer or slide open a door or reach under anything. Any shop needs good lighting, and above my workbench, I found these in a bargain bin at a home store. They were something like $5 a piece. It's just track lighting, and I figured, well, why not have something nice to look at? While we're up there, as you can see, I use my joists and ceiling for storage, not only just for, like, this is edge banding and jigs, but for something like a fan. That would take up a lot of floor space down there in the corner, and it used to do that before I bolted it to the ceiling. In a shop that's only 21 feet by 21 feet, you have to use your imagination for where am I going to put this. Since I only needed one functioning garage door, I turned the other one into my clamp wall. And that's another great use of some space in my shop. Was a garage door, now it's more storage. This is my main workbench. I've got it on wheels so I can push it all the way around the shop. And one of the best features is this big Scandinavian shoulder vise. I made it out of hickory and maple. Underneath the bench I store precision instruments in the drawers and the boxes. I've also got a drawer full of them. Screwdrivers, doweling jigs, clamping pads, things that I use a little more often. This is my table saw. This is the main heart and soul of the shop where probably 80% of the cuts happen. I've also got a router table hooked up to it, and this whole assembly, table and all, probably weighs about 800 pounds, so I really can't move it. But other machines I have on wheels, like this drill press right here. I can roll this around any place in the shop that I want to. I've also got this mortising machine. It's on wheels. I have to roll it out of the way in order to push plywood through the saw. It's also a handy storage stand for my pneumatic nail guns and jigsaw. Then I also have my radial arm saw right here. This is where I do all of my cross cuts. When I come down here, it's like I'm stepping into paradise. This is my own little world that I've created. I've got all my tools here. I've got music that I can listen to. I feel like I'm retired, you know, like I'm working here and just having fun, but this is how I make my living. I like working with wood, and I hope that the things I make will last at least 100, maybe 200 years. It gives me a real good feeling of satisfaction that I'm doing that. When we first bought the house, the garage was just a junk heap with one electrical outlet in it. I had to seal up the concrete, I had to double up all the wall studs, and I had to prepare the place just in order to build a workbench and have a nice little shop here. But over the years, it's really expanded a lot. But in the beginning, it was just a little garage with a bunch of junk in it. Often when I'm in my workshop, I feel that this is my ultimate workshop, but it can always be improved upon. 2 years ago, I thought, this is it. This is great. Then the thought occurred to me, well, I need to insulate over here. Well, I need to do something over there about that. And then when I get everything perfect, then I say, well, I can always put stain on that piece that I installed years ago, that wood rack. You know, why? Just to be artistic, just to make it nice, to improve it, constantly make it different. But yeah, I also feel that this is my ultimate workshop. Maybe not for somebody else, but it is for me.
As a fellow woodworker, I'd have to say, Mike certainly has made all the right moves. Earlier, we promised you a trip to Venice to watch gondolas being built. And when we were at workshop, I'm Bruce Johnson. Thanks for watching.